Welcome back to the forum at the Global Economic Initiative here at the United Nations. We've had a great day of presentations, and we have just a few more great ones left for you. Next, we have Kim O'Brien coming up. Kim has 35 years of experience in the insurance industry. She is CEO of Americans for Annuity Protection, which preserves the marketplace for annuities. Recently, Kim served as CEO of NAFA, the National Association for Fixed Annuities, for almost 12 years and led the organization to major fixed annuity legislative and policy victories. In 2002, Kim received the Entrepreneur Award from Sun Life. So I'd like you to join me in welcoming Kim O'Brien.
Thank you, Nick, and it's so nice to be here. And everybody's been talking about the wonderful location, the United Nations, its 70th anniversary, and all the speakers we've had. It's just been a thrill to listen to. I've learned so much today. I just have to go back and brain dump. But I'm here to talk to you about a serious subject. We've heard a little bit about it from some of the other leaders who've spoken today, but that serious topic is longevity. Now, it's kind of hard to correlate in your mind. Why is longevity serious? Isn't that a good thing? Isn't living longer a good thing? Well, it isn't if you don't have the money to live. And that's what we're talking about, a longevity revolution here in America and on the globe. People are living longer, we all know that, but they don't have the savings to get them through. So I want to talk to you about that and some solutions that we have in the fixed annuity world and the variable annuity world that we want to make sure get into the hands of the public. Longevity is changing our nation and the world. The impact is going to be huge. The impact of the longevity revolution is going to be bigger than the industrial or the technology, because we simply are overflowing with people getting into their later years, living longer, being in retirement longer, and not having the money to support that long life. The impact on our nation in the global drop of birth rates is humongous. Meanwhile, as birth rates drop, what's happening on the other side? Lives are extending. So we have a lopsided demographic of older folks and younger folks. And that's a real problem. As you know, if you're in America, those younger folks really help support the base and the Social Security payments going forward for those in the older retirement years. The remarkable 20th century breakthrough in medicine and some of the fabulous new medicine we've been hearing about today, while it's a wonder and a joy, it's also a problem, because that's part of why we're living longer. And we can't live better and longer if we don't have the money to support it. And right now, as we live longer, we also have to face rising health care costs. We have to face higher increased taxation. We have to face what? Lower Social Security payment. And right now, and for as long as I can remember, we've had a very low interest rate market. So we're really struggling to find that sweet spot of investment and savings that can get us through retirement. Are we prepared for an aging nation and an aging world? I don't know. In the next 15 years, 70% growth will be 65 in the 65 plus age. How much will payroll taxes increase in that same time period? 10. Lopsided? A problem? Can we afford it? We think we can with some solutions in store here. I'll give you a tease on that one. The national retirement crisis in America, millions are either too old to go back to work or have saved too little, and half of the private sector, a whole half of the private sector, doesn't even have access to employer-sponsored plans. And in those half that do, guess how many offer annuities? 1%. So we have half the sector without a plan, we have the other half with a plan, and their only options are risk-based investments. Now, there's nothing wrong with risk-based investments. This isn't an either-or proposition. But when you're not offering the or, is that helping Americans? We don't think so. The Great Recession saw $5 trillion lost in pensions and savings. $5 trillion. Now, we've made a lot of that up, and that's great. But can we afford another crisis? More importantly, if people are relying on monthly incomes, can they afford another crisis? We don't think so. We need lifetime income. We need the security of predictable, certain lifetime income. It's the only thing that annuities can provide that other investments cannot. Insurance, guaranteed income for life. As long as you live, until you take your last breath, you will be paid from that annuity. I'm an advocate for the solution. I've been an advocate for fixed annuities for most of my career. I'm very, very passionate. I get a little excited now and again with regulation coming down and policies that harm the ability for annuities to be sold to consumers and for consumers to have access to affordable advice to be able to purchase an annuity. It's important that the policy from our legislators and our regulators match the need of what's out there and doesn't inhibit our ability to get affordable advice to purchase an annuity, to have a comprehensive and competitive marketplace in which to purchase an annuity with a wide range of product choices that can serve almost any financial need. We heard from some great financial planners, and I was really thrilled. I will connect with them afterwards to pick their brains some more. But you need a product choice so that you can match the product with your client's exact needs. And if regulation and legislation is going to stymie that marketplace for you, you're going to find your hands tied and not able to help your clients. And so that's why we started the Americans for Annuity Protection. I did run another association before this, but it was a trade association. I shouldn't have said but. It is a trade association, but it serves the industry, and that's great. But I want to serve consumers now because they're not being heard from. The consumer voice that the Hill is hearing and that people in state regulatory offices here in America are hearing are the same parroted voice of more regulation, more compliance, more restrictions, less access, less affordable advice. It's just absolutely crushing our marketplace. And the consumers need to be able to be heard, that they want access. They want the opportunity to consider an annuity. They may not buy one. Annuities aren't for everybody or aren't for everybody at any point in their life, nor are some investments, I think you would agree. But they need to have the opportunity to consider them from a qualified professional who's not hamstrung by regulations and compliance and can't talk about them with freedom and their qualified information that only they have to provide to the consumer. Now, what we did hear about today was that there is also financial illiteracy. And we also heard about the retirement crisis from another speaker. So why is the government continuing to propose regulation that makes that financial literacy harder to obtain, makes it harder to find a qualified, trusted professional, makes it harder to look into information that's free from bias, that's factual, that's not persuasive one way or the other, that allows the consumer to consider in a very neutral, safe environment? I don't know why, but it's my mission to fix this. The Department of Labor is proposing a rule, the fiduciary standard. They call it the conflict of interest rule. The public relations campaign, I'd love to get a Freedom of Information Act to find out how much they paid for it, because it's a fabulous campaign. As an ex-PR gal, I can only applaud the government for their public relations campaign. But all they're telling everybody, the legislators on the Hill, the consumers, AARP, Consumer Federation, all they're hearing is the hype, is the feel-good, and not the actual impact of what the rule will do. The actual effect when the rule is, and now it's proposed, but when the rule is promulgated, how that will impact the consumer's access to affordable advice and the choice of products in a comprehensive, competitive environment. So we are going to the Hill. We've been spending a lot of time with Congress people. We have been talking with Secretary Perez over at the department, but we want to make sure that the feel-good and what they're trying to achieve in a very public policy, in good intent way, doesn't have a negative ultimate impact because of this crisis that we're facing in longevity. Annuities can do something nobody else can do. They can guarantee income for life as long as you live. And fixed annuities can also protect you from the market downsides. You won't lose any of your value of your annuity if the markets go down. So we need more people to be told about annuities so that they can consider them as their lifetime protection income guarantee. Now I want to ask you, how many people own an annuity in this audience? Okay, just a few. How many have considered owning an annuity? Okay, a few more. That's good. I talked to a gal at the coffee shop today, and she asked me why I was up so early. And I said, because I'm speaking. I don't sleep much before a speech. But anyway, she said, what are you speaking on? And I said, I'm speaking on the retirement crisis, longevity. She said, you know, we have a 401k here, but there's no match, so I figure why. And I said, well, the why, it would be great if you had a match, I agree, and a little, get a committee together and go to your employer with that one, but not saving, not starting now, not starting today is going to make you're going to have to double your efforts down the road. So start today, even though you don't have the opportunity to have an employer match. Americans for Annuity Protection, we're a policy think tank, and we're an advocate for annuities so Americans can save for the retirement of their dreams. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.